Good morning, everyone.
Hello, and good day, and happy sewing machines everywhere. That's what's happening right now.
That's what's happening.
Welcome to Warm and Cozy Quilting. I'm Jason.
I'm Danielle, and you are the #1 customer.
And I'm drinking coffee. It's really hot still. Got so much creamer in it.
And it's still hot.
It's still hot.
We got fancy creamer today.
Out the refrigerator. We're like professionals.
Fancy.
You know how it is sometimes. Just drink coffee. Hello to all you on the Facebook world. I'll say hi to you momentarily. Also, don't forget, we are on the YouTubes. I almost said Facebook again.
We are also on Facebook.
We're also on Facebook. Also on YouTube. If you're not watching over there, go watch us on YouTube. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Bottom. Follow us every time we go live.
Right.
Anyway, there's that. Want to say hi to some people?
Sure.
Do that. I'm going to drink a little bit of this. This is actually pretty good.
Okay, so good morning, Patty and Donna. It's going to be a great time at Warm and Cozy today. That's right. WMC, Here we go. Good morning and happy Saturday, says Christy.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can I call her Jody? Or
yeah, that's what she's listed as.
Okay.
This one is Jody.
Good morning.
We know who you are.
We know who you are. Anyway, good morning, Sandy, and good morning, Deborah. Oh, and here's Jody.
That's
so that's
Jodelle.
Jodelle. Sorry, you're
That's
supposed
all right.
to do this. Okay. Good morning, Vicki. Good morning on YouTube, she said.
Good morning,
good morning,
on
Dolores. And hi to Jane. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well.
Oh, that coffee is delicious. I'm
It is.
sorry. I would love to talk more, but it's good. I hope you're drinking coffee and staying warm. Hello, Nancy. Thanks for joining us today.
Mom's
Morning,
watching
Nancy.
over on the YouTube side.
Nice. Good morning, Mom.
Hello and good day. Fantastic.
Okay.
So today we've decided we're going to talk about, so we've been doing like the 101.
Quilting stuff, right? Talk
starting
about
over.
batting, talk about this.
We've talked about fabric. We've talked about
Morning, Jackie.
thread.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of stuff today. We're going to talk about machines.
Right.
Whether you're new to this and you know what kind of machine you're using, or you're not new to this and you're considering upgrading. Maybe you joined this whole process in 2020 and you bought a super cheap machine on the internet, but you want to go up, but you don't know how to go up or what's the next step.
And okay, seriously,
Yes.
a big thing in everyone's mind whenever you go to make a purchase like this is I don't want to be oversold.
Right. That's
I
never
want to
fun.
get a deal. I want what's right for me.
Right.
You know.
It's always good to get what's right for you because you're the one using it. So
Morning, Bonnie, and good morning, Cindy.
good morning. So that's kind of the hope today is to get through some of that. Hopefully get some good information to you. Yes, I did bring my favorites on screen. Happens. I do love the rest of the Janome family, but they're my favorites currently. So it's just going to be what it is. But before we dive into that, a couple of quick announcements to talk about.
Okay.
We've got, Janome, we have a Christmas magazine. So we have these beautiful machines. They're at special pricing. I think it's under your device.
Oh.
There it is. So there's special pricing going on for Janome machines. If you don't have this and haven't gone through it yet, come check it out.
Goes until the end of the year.
December 31st. So you have some time still. But if you're looking for a machine for Christmas, sooner the better.
That's the one I want.
I know that's the one you want. I know. I want this one.
If I get what I want, I guess you get what you want.
Yeah.
Never. That's not how it goes.
Works. We try.
Anyway.
Doesn't work though. It's always fun to pretend though.
It is.
Someday.
It is very fun to pretend.
Today, Small Business Saturday.
Right.
I mean,
support your local quilt shop, right?
Get out, support your local businesses.
Right.
Buy
Not
local.
just your local quilt shop.
Well, you can support others, but us specifically, we're more fun.
So, do I tell them now?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know
So,
what she's telling you.
some of you, we are your local quilt shop.
Yes.
Even though we are not next door or even in the neighborhood. And you wish that you could come here for today's sale. Oh, that would be so awesome. But you can't because you live far away.
Right.
Well, we are going to give you free shipping.
Today only?
For today only.
Oh my.
So that's number one. Free shipping today. And to get the free shipping, you're just going to enter at the checkout.
Mm-hmm.
The code is SBS, Small Business Saturday. So SBS 22.
22. Because it's 2022.
And I'm sure that Sadie will type that in or something.
Something fancy, because that's
Good
what
morning,
Sadie does.
Joanne. Good morning, Dolores. She's having coffee.
Ooh, all right.
And resting after the holiday. Got that. Good morning, Laura. So, yeah. Got to have your coffee. Got to get through this day.
Right. So, get your free shipping today. If you're going to come by the shop and hang out with us, well, hangout's chaotic. It's actually more of what's going to happen.
Right.
So you're having this giant sale today.
We're having a giant sale.
Huge sale.
Huge. It is our 579 sale.
5, 7,
which is
and 10.
Right. We have the 579 with the bonus of 10, right? And most people go for the 10. But anyway, if you buy 5 yards of fabric, you're going to get a yard for free. If you buy 7 yards of fabric, you're going to get 2 yards free. If you're going to buy 9 yards of fabric, you're going to get 3 yards free.
Yep. That's right so far.
And 10 yards of fabric, you're going to get 5 yards for free.
So it behooves you to come in and buy 5 yards of fabric or 10 yards of fabric or any of the above.
Right.
This does include backings. And anything on the bolt.
Right. Does not include batting. I didn't ever say anything about interfacing or batting. We're talking about fabric.
Yes.
Okay.
Cotton 45s, 108s. There is a wool batting out or wool fabric. Brain short-circuited.
Right.
This does not include pre-cuts or kits. Sorry, I know there's yardage in there, but no.
This equates to 3 yards. No. Good morning, Diane. She's sewing on her brand new 9450.
Nice. I'm glad you're able to get that out and play with it.
Yeah. She got it a week or so
About
ago.
a week now.
And I talked to her and she was like, "It's been too many things.
Life.
I haven't been able to pull it out." So I'm glad she's getting it.
So, Small Business Saturday, make sure you come by today and do that. Don't be afraid of crowds.
Right.
It may not be a chaos. It's actually not been crazy. People have been mattering throughout the day. So, nice and steady is good.
Yeah.
But we've got stations set up for multiple people. We'll get through it as quickly as possible.
Exactly. So. And if you didn't come by yesterday because you really wanted to come by for this sale, but you're also thinking about a machine, we are available to answer any questions about machines. You can sit down. We've still got places you can sit down and try one out.
Yep.
Yes,
absolutely.
Also, we have the magazine. If you're like, this is too much today, let me have one of those and I'll take it home and I'll look through the holiday catalog and determine what I want from there. Absolutely. We can do that.
Happy and good morning.
Did I miss anyone?
LaDonna said hello and good morning, and Wendy said good morning over on the YouTube. So again,
I did. Did I say hi to Bonnie?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning. I don't remember.
And last but not least in the announcement, this weekend again with wild sales.
Oh my gosh!
Starting tomorrow through Monday.
Dina.
Through Monday.
So Sunday and Monday.
$6 solids.
Yes.
All of our paintbrush solids will be put on sale for $6 per yard.
So it is not going to be in a flash sale.
Nope, just going to be in the category.
You're just going to go to solids.
Which is under shop by theme.
Shop by theme, solids. All the paintbrush solids
I'm sure
out there.
You could probably even in the little search over on the side put in paintbrush or solids or something and it'll help you out. But Yeah, just fine.
208 of
I
them?
mean, I'm giving you $6
So
solids.
much
You
opportunity.
might have to just find them. Okay, like I don't think that's that hard.
They're out there. They'll be there. All right, so that's all that. I'm excited. You ready? You good?
Mhm.
All right, so today we're talking sewing machines. If you're new to this, need a machine, or you want to get started in this, or you want to, do your thing. A couple questions to ask yourself before you go out and buy a machine. First,
Yes, number one.
How do I find the right machine for me? What do you do? What's your plan? What's your expectation? Are you wanting to quilt? Are you wanting to make purses? Are you wanting to be a clothes maker?
Right.
What is your plan? What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
So that's first. What do I want to do?
Know what you want. Have an idea of where you want to go first. It kind of helps to know what your expectations
and I have
are.
had some people in these last few days go, I don't even know. I mean, I like this, but I mean, and so I've been able to go, okay, are you going to just be piecing the tops and taking it to a long armor? Are you going to be actually trying to quilt this yourself? And what is your level, right? Where are you at, kind of, as far as experience and things like that? I always think about features. I mean, and that's what I ask people about. Am I jumping ahead?
It's not so much jumping ahead, but it helps to know what you're looking for as far as features are concerned. If it
doesn't have a needle threader, I ain't buying it. Right. I get it. Okay.
And people that ask those questions have done this before. They've worked with machines, and they have an expectation there. So knowing that is good. If you're brand new and have zero idea, that's okay.
Yep, we'll get you through that too.
It helps know if your plan is to work with whatever that material would be, whatever your goal is.
Because like this one is my machine, and I am not a clothing maker, and you can tell because this does not have a free arm. I don't know how to show
none of these have free arms.
Okay.
Oh wait, actually she does.
So I cannot get a pant leg around here.
No, not unless it's bell bottoms.
Right, and right. So this is not necessarily. If you are a big garment sewer, you may not want this particular machine. You're going to have a hard time with necks and sleeves and things like that because it doesn't have the free arm. I'm sorry, I don't have one to show you. Okay. But so that's something to know. I don't know. I think I'll sew mostly garments. Okay. The thing is, when you're sewing garments, you can also sew clothes. If you're sewing or quilts, if you're sewing quilts, you can also sew garments. Right. But if I'm going to quilt, I need throat space, right? So there's features and things that you need to think about based on what you want to do with your machine.
Right. In addition to that, what you're going to do with it is this going to be a hobby? Or is your intent to possibly start doing this and maybe make some money off of it?
Right.
Because these are beautiful machines. They're great to have, but sometimes just sitting there, that's not always fun. Sometimes we want them to be making money for me instead of just hanging out like the dog does. He doesn't make me money. He just sits there. I do feel that most people that are buying a sewing machine are doing this for a hobby. Most of them are.
This is not necessary, but so when I think about long arms, I think about this could be for a business, but not so much with sewing. I mean, I guess, but
if you're looking at maybe
it's just always been a hobby for me until I opened a business. I don't know.
Alterations are always in need. People always need clothes done. If you're going to do it for $5 a shirt or what have you, you need to make sure you got a machine that's capable of doing that. It's got the right features for that. So, there's more to it than just quilting, though we prefer just the quilting. But that's okay. Right.
Good morning, Beth. She's in Branson.
Ooh, nice. Good morning. All right. So after you kind of have an idea of where you want to go, what kind of machine possibly you would like to be at as far as like features or, that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Your next step is to know what your budget's going to be.
Yes. Because we all have a budget.
Sometimes budget means literally nothing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just goes completely out the window when you fall in love with what you see.
Sure. But, that's the thing is we talked about this briefly just for a moment. I want to get you in the right machine for you.
Right.
I do not want to oversell you something that is not something you're going to like.
Right. It's not where you need to be at. Because again, more money doesn't always equate to you're going to be happier with it. It equates to more features and more options that may just be nothing more than confusing, which can ruin the excitement and joy of that machine. So
exactly. Yeah. Good morning to Eileen, Carla, and Elizabeth.
Hello. So again, know your budget. Kind of know where you want to be.
Mhm.
You can share that with the salesperson, or you can not. Whatever works.
We
for
should
you.
have said from the beginning, we're not getting on here to sell, for this to be a sales pitch about machines.
Golly,
It's
no.
more just about what the different kinds of machines are, and give you some information so that, because I know that not all of you are local, not all of you are going to come to me to buy a machine. I want you to have information though, so that you can go buy a machine and know what you're talking about.
The right way to make an educated decision. So
Right.
it helps to have a little bit of background knowledge, and that's what we're here for, is learning.
And Carla is right. She says, buy the best that you can afford. That has been her experience. And that the best machine that you can afford. That is because then you didn't blow the budget, so you're not upset with yourself. But also sometimes when you get to some of the more expensive machines, if you then decide that you don't like this or you want to get something else, there is some value.
There's a resale value.
Yeah, in this machine. So it's nice to have that.
Absolutely. So for sure. Thank you. Good point, Carla.
Mickey just asked if we have the straight stitch machine, and yes, Mickey, we do.
We do have the HD9.
Okay, so this morning Jason said we're going to put about 5 or 6 machines on the table. You see what we can fit, which is 3.
I got 3. I got 3 of the basics that I wanted to talk about, but yeah, we'll get to that one. Yes, Mickey, it is my favorite machine because I don't need all the curves and the zigzaggies, and I don't need that.
Okay, but let's get there.
Hold on. Okay. So we figured out a budget, and like Carla said, you get what you pay for. Cheaper isn't always a better option,
right?
And then buying from a reputable dealer is kind of an important part of this equation. A lot of the times, and while I was looking up information on this last night, I found a couple how-to guides as far as what you should do when you're going to look for a machine. And there were some strong points in there as far as, you can find a machine, you can buy it from online, as long as you're capable of figuring out the machine yourself.
Right.
That's fine. But the thing I didn't agree with is they said that you pay extra for the service. That's not a true statement necessarily.
No.
You're going to pay for a better machine that I sell you. I'm not going to put an extra dollar amount for my service. So if you come in and you buy this lovely little machine here, I'm not throwing another $300 onto that just so that you can come back and let me service your machine.
Right. No.
But if you have questions and you bought the machine from me, you're welcome to come back in and say, I don't understand what's going on.
Why is it doing this? Or how do I make it do this? Or I saw this on YouTube and now I don't understand how to make my machine, whatever. And we will help you.
But when you buy from big box or from online, there isn't that level of personal service that can help you get through your questions. And you may come and see us once, and then you're off and running. We'll never see you again until you come back in for your yearly service.
Right, which is just fine too, right?
Have fun with it.
Yeah. There are also lots of machines that you cannot buy brand new online.
Yes,
you have to buy from a dealer.
Absolutely.
Which is, that it's there are reasons for that, because Janome, the company, wants you to understand how to use the machine properly and to have that service available to you. So it's so important to have somebody that you can ask questions.
It does help a whole lot, especially if you're still new and getting to learn your machines, or even if you've been doing this for a minute and you buy a new machine, understanding the features that you have available to you. So reputable dealers, also reputable. Talk to your people that you know that have machines. Where'd they get theirs from? Word of mouth is huge. I've talked to some people that that's how they found us to buy a machine, was because they've got the good service and they're like, go there. And so they came here. It works. I'm telling you.
We do have number one customers.
They are the
number one customers.
The number one customers. Okay. So let's see here. Basic types of machines. There's about 5 from what I got my opinions. Other websites have their opinions. I come up with about 5 different types of machines that you can expect in the sewing world.
I don't think my comments are working anymore.
That's okay. That's all right. Mine probably aren't either.
Okay.
You have mechanical machines, which are non-computerized. You have electronic.
So they generally have these big knobs, right?
Yeah, we'll get through more details.
Okay.
Give me a second. There's mechanical. There's electronic. Computerized. Then you go into your sergers / cover stitches, which are a whole nother machine, a whole nother system.
Right.
And then you go into embroidery machines.
Right.
Okay. So starting off, mechanical machines. These are the gateway drug if you will.
Mhm.
Okay. They are
The gateway drug. Yeah. So
It's a lot, I'm sorry.
So you've started this hobby. Let's see if you like it, right? Or this is definitely, in my opinion, okay, I'm a sewer. My daughter is kind of picking up some interest. She wants to come sew with me. I would like to also sew, right? At the same time, I'm
Right.
thinking of giving her a gift.
Mhm.
This is a great beginner kind of start out.
Mhm.
There's not a lot of bells and whistles that
Right.
can be confusing.
That makes a huge difference sometimes.
Right. This is just going to do some basic things and give you good stitches.
Right. So it really runs entirely on just the electricity that runs the motor. The motor drives the shafts, which makes stitches happen.
Right.
If you want to increase your stitch length or adjust the width of your zigzag or any of that stuff, it's all done by controls, like you were pointing out earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that, there is a very limited number of different
Features
stitches
and stuff
that you
get
can
there.
put on these machines.
Sure.
Like an automatic needle up and down or any of these things, or hitting a button for the machine to just run. It doesn't happen on mechanical because
Right.
there's no computer brain to tell it what to do.
Right.
But again, super fantastic for beginners, super easy to learn, very much usually in the budget-friendly category.
Sure. Absolutely.
Most of your mechanical machines start off a couple $100, up to $400 or $500, generally speaking. Say generally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Also, they are controlled the speed by way of foot pedal. So you're using a foot pedal, and however you press that, it will go faster or slower, or it's just one speed, and you kind of close your eyes.
Okay, so I did get the comments started rolling back in. So Mickey said big box doesn't care. WNC does,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Bonnie says that we take care of you and your machines. They strive to make you happy.
Mhm.
That is correct too. And Eileen said that her grandson just made his first quilt on the Genomi's 25th anniversary machine. So that's
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah, that was a solid
Yeah,
machine.
I really hate that I always go, oh, if your daughter wants to or your granddaughter. This hobby can be for boys.
Can be. Absolutely works that way.
Our son has made a quilt. You've made quilts.
Uh-huh.
We've all, anyway. So, and when the boys want to do this, please encourage them.
For the love of everything, just encourage them. Keep them going. Keep them
Yeah,
entertained with it.
Yeah.
It's worth it. It's
Right.
fine.
Yeah.
So,
Girls can fish
yeah, they can.
and boys can sew.
Absolutely. It all happens that way.
Right.
So when it comes to mechanicals, like I said, there are, generally speaking, the mechanicals are the way to go. However, I do have a picture I'd like Sadie to show. This is my best friend. This is the HD9. Is it up? There it is. She is a purely mechanical machine, but she goes super fast. This is that customized machine I was speaking of earlier that just does one stitch. It does it very well.
Straight stitch only. This is what Mickey was talking about also.
This was Mickey's opinion, yeah.
The HD9 is amazing. You can see even the threading is all external. We've got, now it's got speed control.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there might be a small computer in there, but that's far more mechanical than anything else because, dear Lord.
Right. So it's going to
just
run
fast.
really fast. And here's the deal. Because it's only doing one stitch,
Mm-hmm.
that needle does not ever have to adjust, right? So it's not ever going to do a zigzag. So it's always going to be in the same exact spot.
Mm-hmm.
There is no room for error, if you will. It won't move. And therefore, you're going to get a super true 1/4 inch, whatever your seam allowance that you're looking for, you're going to get that all the time.
Right.
It is also goes really fast,
Yes.
which is nice, and goes through many, many, many layers.
Yeah.
So wonderful for bag makers,
Mhm.
because it's heavy duty. It is an all metal machine. The bobbins are metal. The bobbins are larger than your regular standard drop-in bobbins. They're not a drop-in bobbin. They go in the side.
Right.
And it's just an amazing machine.
Now we're turning into a sales pitch for
I
the
know, but-
HD9. Sorry. That's not what we're doing.
So there's an HD9 Black Edition
Uh-huh. That's
that
what she wants.
that I really want.
She really wants that.
I don't need it. Okay, but
It's okay. Someday maybe I'll see what happens.
it's a pretty machine.
So
It
she's
is.
not really selling you, she's selling herself.
She's
right now.
selling herself more often.
I'm selling my
for sure.
husband.
She's trying. She's trying. That's how it works out.
Yeah. Anyway, so
But that's for sure. Again, that's the higher end of the mechanicals. Like,
sure, most
That's
mechanicals
not-
are going to be in this lower budget friendly, very basic.
that's
And
if you're coming in and you're only going to make straight stitch stuff. Like, that's your only goal in life. And you're
for the HD9.
yeah, you've done this for a minute. You're not starting off there.
Right.
Typically.
Right.
If you want to, I won't stop you, but it's not
Now,
a normal jumping off.
Because if you look at like general basic mechanical, you don't have a lot of throat space.
No.
So if you want more throat space, or if you want more speed,
Mhm.
or any of those things, you generally are going to start looking at bigger machines.
The next step up.
Mhm.
Okay, so the next step up from mechanical, again, I equate mechanical more to the budget-friendly category of machines, intro level for sure. Doesn't mean that all of mechanicals are cheap. Don't
No.
ever take that way. Just generally because there's less to deal with there. Okay.
Mhm.
The next step up, in my opinion, is electronic.
Right.
Electronic is a nice mid-range. It's between your mechanical and your computerized. So, and there's all sorts of price ranges through there. I brought kind of the middle upper end of the electronics with the 6700.
It's the best machine ever.
She's beautiful, especially if you want to have room, throat space. You know, from your needle to the harp side of your machine, that's your throat space. If you want room for quilting, it gives you more room to deal with that, depending on the type you want. So electronics, the big difference between them. Usually, there's an automatic needle threader available. Okay, it's got speed control.
Yeah, but that's not electronic.
No, it's not electronic. It's just.
Okay.
I think
I'm sorry.
jobs all come with needle threaders, but some machines, there are some brands out
This
there
even
that
has the needle threader.
some brands don't. It's
Oh.
crazy. I don't know why, but they don't. Thread control or speed control.
Mhm.
Also, start and stop. You see this button right here? If the foot pedal's not connected, you can push that button and just start stitching.
Mhm. Yeah,
How
so you
wild
can
is that?
stitch by using the button, which is great if you're short and have to work at a counter high kitchen table, which has happened to me before.
It's happened.
And I cannot reach the floor, so that putting a floor pedal or putting a foot pedal don't work.
Right.
If you have a young person who
Mhm.
can't reach the floor,
Yep.
this works wonderfully because you want them up here. You don't want to also be concerned with where their feet are. So it's nice to be able to have that start-stop situation.
Right.
I
Typically,
do want to say good morning to Debbie.
Mhm.
And now Eileen says that he wants to make 5 more quilts.
Nice.
That's awesome. And Lindsay loves her 6700.
She
It is amazing.
Absolutely. And good morning, Jody Blue on the YouTube. The other thing I want to point out is typically your electronic machines are going to be accompanied by some sort of LED screen, LCD screen, sorry. So that way you have a little bit visual on what your controls are, what your stitches are.
Mhm.
Also with electronics, because of that computerized ability for it to have a motor instead of actual things inside that tell the stitches what to happen with mechanicals,
Mhm.
you have more stitches available to you.
Right.
Different types, more options, zigzag, sashing, or satin stitches, blanket stitches,
Right.
all the things.
Alphabets.
Alphabets.
You can make little tiny labels if you want to. And that
Absolutely.
kind of stuff.
All these things become available with the electronics.
Mhm. So saying electronic does not mean that there's not a computerized portion. It's saying
Right.
that there's like a computer and mechanics are working together, right?
Super simultaneously make one cohesive, wonderful thing.
And the technology then,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, is wonderful. I forgot something I was going to bring in.
Oh no.
Can I
Sorry.
go get it?
No.
Okay.
You can send me.
Huh?
You can send me.
Okay. I don't know where it is.
Okay. So you can't go get it
I
either.
want my block that I pieced the other day,
Oh,
and it's
okay.
probably on my desk.
That most likely is the case. So
Sorry.
that's okay. So when you're talking electronics, and I think I know where you're going with this, so I'm going to lean into it a little bit.
Okay.
When you go from your mechanicals to your electronics, because the computers start getting involved, precision becomes more of a thing. It becomes more
Right.
useful.
Right.
The
There's more
computer-
technology.
The
right?
computer's in more control of where your needle's landing, where you
Mhm.
want your needle to be.
Mhm.
So when you're talking,
Feed dogs are where they need to be, and you're using them to your advantage.
right,
So you're not having as much pulling.
right, and that's not to say that your mechanicals can't do that,
Oh, absolutely.
but when you start bringing in technology, things start getting a little more precise, a little more accurate, which is always kind of the goal, to start getting more accurate, more precise,
Mhm.
makes your stitches cleaner, makes your ability to make pieces like this.
Then you can have little tiny blocks that are only 6.5 inches square. And look at those pieces. Everything lines up beautifully.
Clean,
So any of my
accurate,
friends that are
beautiful.
going to do the 100 modern blocks, this is one of the blocks you're going to make. And it is. So one thing about this, and the reason that I brought this up and what he was just saying is I feel that my piecing is better now that I have a machine that is helping me. I am not fighting the machine, right? I don't have a machine that I have to pull fabric through. I don't, or that is always pulling away from me, and so my 1/4 inch is not consistent.
Yeah.
I still have to myself do better. I have done a lot
You're still
more
part of the
sewing,
process, yeah.
right, than I had, a year ago. But anyway, now I'm making beautiful little tiny.
Yeah,
blocks.
when your tools work with you and you're not forcing the tool to do all the work, because there's a difference in the quality of what you end up with.
Right.
And I've watched your progression through the different brands of machines, the different types of machines, and you're currently in this progression of stage of quilting, which is not a bad place to be. Solid little machine, does a wonderful job. So when you have all of the extra features that help, that are more common, especially including the needle thread or the thread cutter, which, by the way,
thread cutter's so nice.
I love the
to
thread
have
cutter.
a thread cutter.
It's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Gotta love having that. So having that stuff around is good. Mid-range in price. Again, when you talk domestics run from anywhere a couple $100 up to thousands and thousands of dollars.
There's machines between here.
Oh my good
There's
Lord,
so many
absolutely.
machines between here and there. But we wanted to be able to show you. So then you go to computerized.
So the next step after our electronics is for sure the computerized. Now, computerized, let's just say they're fancy. I mean, this is the M7. This is the machine I want. I will have one day of my own. Not that I won't use the shops whenever I have the opportunity to, because good Lord, it's an amazing machine. But it's all computerized. I don't have her plugged in, but there's a screen. And so most of your computerized are all driven by computer. You touch buttons, the motors, the everything are controlled by the computers. So when you talk accuracy, precision, you really jump into that with better machines. So being aware of computerized machines is a good thing to know they're there, but do know you don't have to start there. These are the ones that become so many features and so many options that if you're just starting out, that's where overwhelming happens.
Sure. I feel like if you're just starting out and you have a budget that will allow for the biggest, baddest machine, maybe that's still not the place to start. The only reason I say that is because I've heard from other people who've bought long arms in the past,
right,
that then hung clothes on the backside of them because they didn't know how to use it, and it was intimidating and it was too much.
Right.
So I feel that it's not maybe the best idea to jump all the way in, although I would, because that's what I do. But anyway, I think that there's enough support to do that. You could do that if that's what you want. If your budget was such and you were like, this is what I want to do. I just always am afraid, like, if you've never sewn anything and you don't even know if you like this, and you've bought this machine and maybe you don't like this now. Right. Now you have this machine, but I mean, there's always resale that you can do.
On that side of it, if you're talking resale, which is not a bad conversation, if you bought this machine, you're not going to get as much out of it versus this one where you can resell this for a pretty good amount of what you put into it. So there is.
I do find like these get handed down or handed over, or I got a friend who's
that's mechanicals. They're great for that. Somebody's got to start somewhere.
Right. Also a good take along.
Perfect take along machine.
I do feel that if you are in a machine like this and you were to get something like this as the take along, you would be aggravated. In that you would be like, oh, I want my start stop button, or I want some of those features. Yeah, you still would want an electronic, just a lower one.
Yeah. So, and again, just knowing that those are your three main for your domestics. There are now a couple other ones that we're going to talk about briefly.
Okay. Well, Diane said something great here. Just ask your family for W&C gift cards.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Nobody knows what to get each other for Christmas anymore, and
Gift cards come by machine. Works out wonderfully.
Yeah, and especially in this kind of hobby where you're not sure what they already have, what could they possibly need. I can always give you some tips and lead you to some things, but gift cards are great. I just feel like some people are like, oh, I just want to give them more than a gift card. Okay, well, I'll help you out.
Absolutely.
Jackie said she wants to learn how to quilt as you go. That's another good method to have some throat space.
Because you're going to have some buildup as you go through your blocks and piece them together. So a little bit of throat space helps a lot there, for sure.
Eileen has taught all 6 grandkids on a mechanical machine. And
I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
We need to keep these kids going.
Keep them occupied with it. It's good for them. All right. So the next type of machine that we typically hear about in this business line is embroidery machines. If you don't have an embroidery machine, do you have to have one? Absolutely not. They are great. This is the 550E from Janome. I have one on the sales floor. I don't have room for it on the table to show you today.
Yeah, it's a big old machine anyway.
But it's the principles of it are pretty basic. You do have a computerized that drives everything to make your stitches. Basically, you're going to put an image on fabric by using thread. So thread painting at its finest, really, is what it comes down to.
Sure.
So
that one is a embroidery only.
Embroidery only.
It's a single needle. You can, as you finish that color, then you'll change your threads and do the next color and that kind of thing. So very good, I would say introductory, personal use, not something you're doing as a label for hire. But there are several hoop sizes. You can do a lot with that machine. So,
right. Janome does have other ones that go up to 4 needle, which means you can have 4 different threads, or 7 needle, which then you can use 7 different threads. Very professional, very industrial use. Again, if that's something that you need, those are options.
Right. Absolutely.
Again, back to just the domestics that have alphabets in there, like in their stitch options. You can make your own little labels with your machine. You don't have to have an embroidery machine. You can get there. The other conversation is you could always go combination.
Right.
Which is, it's a sewing machine mixed with an embroidery machine. But there are some downsides to that.
There are some downsides. I think that then you can't sew while it's doing embroidery. So then you're just waiting.
Right.
And if you have a standalone embroidery machine and a sewing machine, you can watch your embroidery and sew, right?
Right.
Also, if that is your only machine, if you have any trouble at all, or it needs to go in for service, or now you don't have any. Now you have 0 machines. So that's
you got neither.
Right.
So combinations, they do have a place in the world. They're great, decent starting. But you can also, if you have the room for it, get a solid electronic and an embroidery. Have 2 independent machines to do their own jobs.
Right.
Just something to throw out there. That's not a sales pitch. Those usually actually end up cheaper together than a combination by itself. Wild to me, but hey. So, worth considering all the time. And last but not least that I'm going to aim at for today is sergers / cover stitches. They are 2 different types of machines, but sergers, well, that's our air serger. Boy, she's a beautiful machine.
The air threader is amazing. So I don't know a lot about sergers. I don't do a lot of things with sergers. I'm learning more things. And what I did learn immediately was that the air threader was the way to go.
Yes, that's first off.
When I got to get tweezers out to thread the machine, I'm just like,
threading
No,
is a challenge with sergers. Always has been. It's just the way they do their job. In the quilting world, sergers don't have a real necessary place. Not a lot of need for serging here. In the clothes making,
some people will serge the edge of their quilt.
I've
Some
seen
people
that
will do, certain things with sergers in quilting. But
right. So, but if you're clothes making, you're going into the garment world. You're going to need a serger. You're going to need a cover stitch. These machines are what finish the garments that you're wearing. If you look at any piece of clothing that's been serged or cover stitch,
right?
It's going to happen. You have to have it. Eileen, yes, cover stitches and sergers. That's yes, ma'am. If that's what you're into. If this is, again, you're not going clothing, you probably don't need a serger. You may have grandma's hanging out in the closet. Might still work. Probably still does. It just doesn't know how to be threaded.
Probably does a fantastic
stitch. But it's always one of those things.
See, thank you, Carla. I knew Carla was going to jump in. Thank you. You can do decorative stitches to put quilt together. You can do different things that
All kinds of things.
you just don't know.
Typically speaking, I'm only speaking in generalities.
Mhm.
Look, and I have to be general because there are so many things you can do with machines and all the stuffs. I'm
Right.
not 100% on all these things. So she's not wrong.
You
I
can
don't.
piece with a serger.
You probably can.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Yours
I wouldn't have busted seams if I
would
pieced
not
this
have
serger.
busted seams.
Holy
Everything would
cow,
be.
that thing would stay forever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Woo.
Yeah. So there are some really great things with sergers and things like that. But these may be the next step. If you are brand new to sewing, and I don't feel like a serger is your first purchase.
No, I don't think
Your
so.
first purchase, if you're getting into this hobby, is okay. Let's find something that we can sew with. Then you go, oh man, I'm really liking this particular aspect.
Mhm.
I need an embroidery machine, or I need a throat space, or I need a serger,
Right.
or I need all of them.
Right.
Like maybe that's where you're at.
And really, on the span of things, a basic serger, non-air thread,
Mm-hmm.
price effective. Like holy
Oh my
cow,
gosh, yeah.
super cost efficient, effective. I don't know the word. I don't want to say
So,
cheap because they're not
no.
cheap.
So you
They're
can get
just
a serger
not-
for $300, right?
That's where I'm going with that.
Yeah, I mean, not the air threader. The air threader is more expensive,
more,
but
But they're largely mechanical machines. too.
Largely entirely mechanical. There's nothing about computerizing for a serger. It's thread and needles and moving and cutting, and that's all it does. There's
Right.
no fancy you have to do with that. The whole goal is to make a seam that's locked and not going anywhere.
exactly. So
Anyway.
all of those are important. And maybe you have been sewing for a while and you're looking for a serger, or
Mm-hmm.
you're looking for, what, I've made labels on my machine and they're okay, but I would like to be able to do more things. So an embroidery machine is what I'm looking for.
Right.
There's all of those things can be part of your journey here.
Mhm.
And if you need help with any of those, we're here to help.
Absolutely. So the last and final piece in this whole what machine do I want to do is brand. I made it the last piece of the conversation because brand is important if that's where your dealer is, if that's who you trust for service.
Mhm.
This may be an unpopular opinion. You can do any stitch with any machine, but where are you getting your service from? But we sell Genomes, so I'm not going to speak of other brands because I don't know anything about them enough to speak on them.
Right. What I want to say about brands is that because we are very narrow and we only sell Janome
Mm-hmm.
domestics, we only sell Handy Quilter long arms.
Mm-hmm.
We know a lot about those.
Yes.
We do not have a bunch of things, and we've got to remember who does what or whatever. Like but every brand has a low end and a high end.
Absolutely.
And has technology that's going to make this better or that better. So there are definitely benefits, if you will. But the biggest benefit is having a local dealer that can help you find the machine that's going to be best for you.
Right. So with some information on Janome.
Okay, but do we have to?
Yes.
Okay.
So Janome is a manufacturer, which
Mhm.
means that they make machines.
Right.
Which means that they do build machines for other companies. So they'll build it to their specifications, slap their label on it, send it out the door. So they actually produce machines for other people. That's what they do. They are Japanese based.
Mhm.
They introduced the first programmable computer sewing machine. No, it was the Memory 7. They introduced that in 1979.
Wow.
Nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the name Janome. I know, just
We have no time.
We got time.
You're
We got time
going
for
to have to
this.
go fast.
Janome was founded by Yosaku Osi. And in 1920, he started using the round metal bobbin, which to the Japanese people looked like a snake eye, round circle eye.
Mhm.
And so that's actually where Janome comes from. It means eye of the snake in Janome, or in Japanese. So go figure that one.
Yeah.
Pretty fun, right?
Pretty fun.
Not made up. I swear. I said this last night. Victoria heard me, and she's like, "That's made up." It's actually on the Janome website under their history. So,
snake eye.
eye of the snake, snake eye.
Eye of the snake.
Eye of the snake, because it's round, like a non-poisonous snake. Just kind of fun. I thought it was interesting.
It is interesting.
I just found it interesting. So, in histories on bobbins and machines in general, from 1850 to 1920, train wreck. Just stay out of that history subject. It's the worst.
There's just a lot.
So many copyrights were being thrown around. So many people trying to top the other guy because sewing was becoming such a booming thing.
Right.
It's a lot.
And trying to figure out who was first,
Who was what,
whatever.
why, and patents,
is too
and
much.
this, and where did that come? Just stay out of it. It's just atrocious. Anyway, but yeah, so that machines in general,
These Janome folks have been doing it a long time.
they've been doing
Long
it a
time.
long time.
For sure. And I feel that they're doing a great job with having a range of machines that really fit every different sewer.
Mhm.
You know,
Absolutely. They do have like 2 or 3 testing facilities where they build and design machines and test them out to make sure they work right and try to create new features as much as possible. So it's kind of neat that they put so much effort into it.
if they would just put a bobbin, a whole spool in the bobbin.
An endless bobbin, guys,
endless
if you're
bobbin.
watching, please, and Janome guys, if
I
you're
would like an endless bobbin on my long arm as well.
Love that
If you're
idea.
making those
just
things.
figure that out. We'll be good.
We've talked to engineers before who say
They
that
said
it can't
it
happen.
can't
But
happen.
come on.
I think it can. I think they're just holding back.
Yeah.
They have the technology. They just have it on their machines at home.
Right.
Share with us, guys.
Exactly.
Anyway,
Endless
besides-
bobbin. Are you with me?
I mean,
Come
who
on.
isn't?
I do love that Janome's pre-wound bobbins
Mm-hmm.
come on the plastic bobbin.
I know. Isn't that the best? You
So,
can reuse that bobbin.
Then you can reuse that bobbin.
I said that yesterday to a customer who bought a machine. I said, you can, if that bobbin runs out. So she bought some pre-wounds. I'm like, when that runs out, you have now a bobbin to use to rewind your own. And she's like, really?
Yeah, it's not a
Yeah.
cardboard bobbin. It's an actual plastic bobbin. You might end up with a whole bunch of plastic bobbins but they also have 60 weight thread on the bobbin.
So it lasts a lot longer.
It does. There is a lot of thread on that.
Yeah.
So anyway, not that we're talking about bobbins.
No, not at all. But
We have a huge day, so
have-
we're going to cut short today.
we do.
We're going to cut short. This is, and get ready so that we can be ready for you guys coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of fabric to be cut today.
Man,
We need new
get some
blades and
fabric.
all the things. We
Oh,
need
you're ready to
everybody
go.
to be ready to
It'll
go.
be a good time. Come see us. Buy some fabric. Say hi. Buy a machine.
Yeah. So, and
Um,
for my non-local folks, remember free shipping. Today.
Free shipping. SBS 22.
Right. And also for everyone for Sunday and Monday, while I'm at home sleeping, you can buy $6 a yard fabric. Right.
Yes, you can.
All the solids tomorrow. Paintbrush solids, $6.
Do it.
We've had some people coming in going, okay, I need
Oh,
this
there's people
color.
taking lists.
I need
It's gonna
this
happen.
color. I need that color. So
$6 a yard is a wild price for quality fabric. So yeah.
yeah, it's $8.99 generally. Come on now.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
a great price. Okay,
Alrighty. So I'm good. Are you good?
I'm good.
We're gonna get out of here. We'll see you guys sometime this week. Happy Thanksgiving weekend. All that good stuff. See ya.